In this video, I'm going to be summarising chapter 3 from this book called Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Now this book's about 21 great ways on how you can stop procrastinating and get more done in less time. And if you haven't watched my previous video where I summarised chapter 2 from this book, then make sure you go ahead and do that first by clicking here. In addition to that, if you want to pick yourself up a copy of this book so you can follow along with each chapter, then I've also left a link in the video description box down below. With that said, let's get straight to it. So chapter 3 is all about applying the 80-20 rule to everything. Now if you don't know what the 80-20 rule is, it's also known as the Pareto principle and the vital few. Basically what it means is that 20% of your activities will account for 80% of your results. It's also said the other way around too. So 80% of your results will come from 20% of your activities. And if you want another way, but just worded slightly different, then it's this. Roughly 80% of the effects come from 20% of the causes. For example, 20% of your customers will account for 80% of your sales. 20% of your products and services will account for 80% of your profit. 80% of all traffic accidents are caused by 20% of drivers. 20% of people cause 80% of problems. 80% of your problems are caused by 20% of your decisions. 20% of workers contribute 80% of the results. So if you have a list of 10 things to do, 2 items on that list will be worth 5 to 10 times more than the other 8 items put together. Now each task may take the same time but have a completely different result. So your goal is to find out that critical, that vital few, which is that 20%. For example, if I've got 10 YouTube videos, in this case I think I'm next to 30, but let's just say I've got 10 YouTube videos and 80% of all of my views will come from 20% of my videos. So in that case, it will be 2 videos. 2 videos will account for 80% of the total views. So the point is, you want to find that 20% that's causing 80% of the effects or results. Now, before we move on, my name's Luke, and this channel is all about personal development, and I'll be sharing the things I've learned and continuously learn. So if you enjoy content around trying to improve yourself, overall personal development, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. Brian Tracy says that it's quite often to find one item on a list out of 10 items can be worth more than all the other 9 items put together. So the job is, eat that frog first. Eat your biggest, most challenging frog first. The one that's going to give you the most results. It's that 20%, the vital few that you're looking for. The things that people are most likely to procrastinate on are the top 10 to 20% of items that are the most valuable and the most important, the vital few. Instead, they busy themselves with the least important tasks, the 80%, the trivial many that contribute very little to the end outcome. So focus on your biggest, most challenging, most important task first. The 20% that's going to give you 80% of the results. Now that 20%, which I kind of feel like we all try to put off the hardest tasks. We all try to get around them. We try to, put them off to a later date. But each time you do that, you regret it and you don't feel good about yourself. Refuse to work on any task that's in the bottom 80% while you still have other tasks that are in the top 20%. So before you begin any task, ask yourself, is this task in the top 20%? And if it isn't, don't work on it. Focus only on the things that are going to be in that 20% category, because that's the things that are going to give you 80% of your results. And resist the temptation to work on easy things first. I know it's easy to do that. I've done that. I still do that sometimes. I like choosing the easy task first. So it is a bit of a challenge, but each time I choose the harder task first, the most challenging, and also the one that I know is going to be the most rewarding task first, I feel good about it. And Brian Tracy says that whatever you choose to do over and over again eventually becomes a habit that's hard to break. Now, that habit that's hard to break could be you focusing on low value tasks first thing in the morning. So that's what you're going to program yourself for. That's what you're going to be accustomed to that's what you're going to be accustomed to, working on low value tasks. The hardest part of taking action on any important task is getting started in the first place. But once you get started, it's easier to keep on moving. How true is that statement? Think about anything that you've ever done in your life. As challenging, I don't know what that was, as challenging as it may seem or may be, as soon as you get started, it's easier to keep on moving because you can feel that you're making progression towards something. That's why I think like having a checklist. I don't know if it was in chapter 1 that Brian Tracy was talking about having, either chapter 1 or chapter 2, where he was talking about having basically a list where you tick things off. In other words, a to-do list. But having that is very satisfying because you can see the visible progress. But yeah, I can't agree more with that statement. At the end of the chapter, Brian Tracy gives us 2 actionable steps that we can take, which I'm going to read now. The first step is this: make a list of all of the key goals, activities, projects, and responsibilities in your life today. Which of them are or could be in the top 10 or 20% of tasks that represent or could represent 80 or 90% of your results. The second step is this: resolve today that you are going to spend more and more of your time working in those few areas that can really make a difference in your life and career, and less and less time on lower value activities. So this is something that I'm definitely looking forward to trying to figure out in my own life. Trying to figure out what 20% of activities am I doing that's equaling 80% of my results. With that said, if you want to know what personal development is all about, then make sure you click here where I shot a video on that exact topic called What is Personal Development?